Hey everybody, it's me, the Vern here from the Cinema Recall podcast, doing a quick YouTube video for the 5 or 6 people who are subscribed to this channel. And for right now, I'm just going to give you just a random look at my vinyl collection. This is just to prove how much of a hipster I am. This record player right now is not mine; it belongs to one of my roommates. So here, in no special order, let's do with it. Go, yes. So right now, I'm going to show you Monty Python's Flying Circus. Now, before the advent of DVDs and even VHS, way before streaming, the only way that people were able ever to see episodes is through records. So this is just a collection of sketches from the Monty Python crew, and it's really kind of cool. So it's kind of neat to have this, and I own it. It's Monty Python. It's got to fit through the TV cage. Love it. Good artwork there. Next up, I don't know how I got this, but I got the soundtrack to 1941, Steven Spielberg's, I guess, flop, even though I watched the movie, and it's a lot of fun. John Belushi, Nancy Allen are all in there. Yeah, it's a funny comedy, and it's got some really great artwork that I'm going to show you here. Yeah. It's got, a good John Williams score. Yeah, it's actually not bad. And then next up, I have another comedy CD, or LP, Lily Tomlin, and this one, she is just playing a telephone operator, and she has conversations with different people. I've seen Lily Tomlin in other movies, such as I Heart of Huckabees, and I think Flirt with Disaster, and I know she's been in other famous funny movies right now that I can't think of, but this is good. I actually like this record quite a bit. It was actually a lot of fun. Alright, and then moving on. Okay. Airport 75. I don't know how the hell I got this one. Airport 75 sort of like came with one of the houses I was living at. I think I got it as a gift from somebody. Never saw the movie. I've seen Airplane a bunch of times, but I haven't seen this. I don't know why, but anyways, I have the soundtrack. Bam. Good artwork. And then what do I have left here? Okay. And then that. Okay. Next up here is Devo Live, and pretty cool concert, I gotta say. It's got The Girl You Want, Whip It, Freedom of Choice. Yes. It's good song. The only thing I don't like about this one is that I wish there were more songs on it. I mean, it's a good live recording, but it's a really kind of short one. And I'm thinking there's no way that I would pay how much ever concert tickets were to hear this sort of songs. So that's my only complaint. I wish I had more songs. Alright, what else do I have left here? I got lots of stuff. Alright. Now, this soundtrack I got because it was relatively cheap. I got it for like $3, but it has Blondie in there. And it has music from Giorgio Moroder. And he was the guy who composed the soundtrack for Scarface. And I recognize him for being one of the collaborators of Daft Punk's Random Access Memories. But yeah, I know that the movie itself stars what's his face, Richard Gere and Lauren Hutton. It was directed by Paul Schrader, who was the screenwriter of Taxi Driver. But I just never actually saw American Gigolo, and I heard it's a good movie. So there you go, American Gigolo soundtrack. Got the Call Me a Song by Blondie. Good stuff. All right, now we're actually going to be getting into some of the other good stuff here. Okay, so here I got the soundtrack to Stanley Kubrick's Barry Lyndon, starring Ryan O'Neal. And Barry Lyndon is one of the movies in Stanley Kubrick's filmography that not many people talk about, but it's actually really beautiful. It's got probably some of the best cinematography like ever in the history of movies. I think it's like probably number one in terms of like best cinematography. I think La La Land probably comes at like a close second, but this is actually really good cinematography. So there you go. Barry Lyndon got a lot of classical songs on there. All right, now we're going to get to some of the good stuff here, folks. All right, now first up is the soundtrack to Pulp Fiction. Really iconic soundtrack. Dick Dale and the Deltones, Cool in the Game, Dusty Springfield, and the soundtrack is just as iconic as the movie itself. And it's got snippets of dialogue from the movie and I think it's great. Although I wish I would have waited and gotten this record at a different store, because different stores were selling like a yellow vinyl of this, and that would have been kind of cool to actually own. But nevertheless, there it was cool. I love it. All right, now getting on to other stuff here. I know actually all these other records you see here, these are actually all my roommates. I've just got like a very small collection of records. All right, now next up here is probably my favorite album from the artist St. Vincent, of course, Annie Clark, and that's Actor. When I heard that song, Actor, out of work, I just fell in love with it right away. The inside sleeve has all the lyrics, as you can kind of see here, even though my phone's not doing the best of job. I'll pick this up. There you go. There's that. I don't think this thing has any cool sleeves. Nope, it does not. Right, I will show you all the cool sleeves. That was my water bottle that fell. That's all right. Doesn't spill out of it. All right. Next up is probably my favorite album from the band Portishead, and that's their second album, Portishead, featuring the songs Only You, which really got me into Portishead. Really big time. That song Only You, Hummin', and Cowboys. But yeah, a really good album. Probably not as iconic as their debut album Dummy was, but I nevertheless love the second album very much, and I'm glad I got in vinyl because it just sounds really good. And yep, there you go, Portishead. And let's move on to, where is it? Yes, all right. Next up here is Baby Driver. And Baby Driver is a film directed by Edgar Wright, and it's about a getaway driver who times his getaways to songs, and the soundtrack is one of those things. It's one of those things where the soundtrack is actually better than the movie itself. And there you go. There's some cool inserts here, and I'm actually even going to show you if I can do this right. Ugh. It's even got some really cool, sleeves, which I'm always a fan of when it comes to vinyl collection. Here is the really cool sleeve work that it has. All right, and I'll show you the other one. I'll get you out of here. Okay, keep a note, folks, I'm doing all this live. There's no editing, so here you go. More of a sleeve. Show you some of the songs, and the other one as well. But yeah, this soundtrack is great because it has a big collection of like soul and punk and rap and rock and songs from different worlds and everything like that. So yeah, that's Baby Driver. Love that very much. I'll put you right there for now. All right, now come up next, and I apologize, I'm trying to get all this stuff together here. Okay, next up here is Daft Punk's Discovery, and in my opinion here, this is probably the best album that Daft Punk has made. I know they've received a lot of acclaim for Random Access Memories, but for me, Discovery is just probably really good. I love this album very much. Songs like One More Time and Aerodynamic and High Life, Crescent Dolls, yeah, just really good. And also, this is the soundtrack to the animated movie Interstellar 55555. Probably missing 5 there, I know. But yeah, look at this. I'm going to show you some of the inserts there. It tells you all the lyrics to the songs. And there's some artwork as well. All right. And then we'll do the other one. Well, actually, this is not that. Actually, just the cover again. All right, so that wasn't all that neat. But anyways, I think that album is actually really kind of cool. I'll put you right there for now. Be safe. And then last up on my list here is the soundtrack to Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. In my opinion, gosh, when it comes to like the best Tarantino film, well, for me, the best Tarantino film ever is Jackie Brown. But the one that I'll probably revisit the most, it is probably going to be Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. That movie is just a fun blast to watch. It's a movie I can go to at any certain moment and watch to the end. It's actually really kind of brilliant. Kind of the same way with Dazed and Confused. I can kind of watch that movie from any spot and still enjoy it from where it is. So it's a great hangout movie, but it's got some really beautiful artwork here. The one thing I love most about the soundtrack to Once Upon a Time in Hollywood is that it feels like you're listening to the radio of the late 60s. It's got an actual radio DJ announcer. There are ad spots from, what was playing in 1969. And some of those commercial jingles were actually really, really good. And also, this thing has got tons of great little photos from the movie itself there. And so that is really cool. And I'll show you the other one really quickly here. There you go, all the nice little stills of the movie. And just listening to the soundtrack makes me feel like I'm sort of like in the movie. And that's really kind of cool. Here's the other one right there. And yeah, there it is, folks. That is my vinyl collection. So I want to say thank you very much for watching this video. And we got some new things happening at the actual Cinema Recall podcast page. Right now for Patreon, we just released our episode discussing the movies Bound and The Last Seduction with guest Howard Kasner. I believe on Friday we'll be releasing another Patreon episode with Donnie and Linda from the Cage's Kiss podcast talking about the underseen John Carpenter flick Prince of Darkness. And then on Friday, for all listeners, you'll get the actual episode of Bound and The Last Seduction available on all podcast apps. Go to our site because right now for Film Fatale February's, we have on guest Blake Turk from the website Stylish Island and Sexy Thrillers talking about the neo-noir classic Basic Instinct. As always, you can find us on Twitter where we're at Cinema_Recall, and then Facebook, Instagram, just search Cinema Recall Podcast. Big thank you to all of you who actually watch these videos and whatnot. Love you dearly, and I will see you soon, all right? Good night, everybody. Goodbye.